Yo, what's up, Saber folks? I'm here again with another tutorial for a movement that almost anybody can do with a lightsaber. So another move that I'm convinced that basically almost anybody can do, unless you have any previous injuries or for some reason you can't do it, some issue with supporting weight on your upper body and exchanging it to your lower body, that pretty much anybody can do, and that is the cartwheel. So again, just like with any flip or acrobatic move that we're going to do with lightsabers, we should always do it first without the lightsaber. And basically, this is perfect. This little drill is perfect for you if you have a carpeted floor or somewhere soft. You can even do this on grass, or even like a playground that's got some, what's that, the rubber stuff that you see in playgrounds. But basically, I'm going to have you start out. You can do this from here. You can do this, actually, it's probably best for you to start it sort of from your knees if you're somebody who is not inclined to flips. Again, this tutorial is designed for people who can't do anything, who are physically, like, can't do any sort of acrobatics, don't have any background. This is the bottom of the tutorial. I want to make this accessible for pretty much anybody. And basically, what you're going to do here is you're going to go on your hands and knees. You're going to put your left hand, in this case for me, I guess it'll be, you're going to put your right hand by your right knee. You're going to take your left hand and you're going to reach over just like this. This is basic positioning for a very bad gymnastic cartwheel, but we're going to get there in a second. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to shift your weight from your lower body to your upper body, from your feet to your hands. You're going to push through those shoulders. If you have a shoulder injury, I recommend healing from that before you do anything of that sort. Elbow, wrist, all of those are really important to have in good, strong condition. It helps if you can do a handstand, if you can, of course, a push-up, or even just supporting yourself in a plank, I would say would be the prerequisite for trying this move. If you can't, make sure you can do those before you try this move. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our right hand down and then our left hand over, and we're going to push. We're going to start with our right foot over here. We're going to push into the ground because it's going to help launch us. And then we're going to push this is our left foot. This is our right foot now. And we're going to push up onto our hands. And if you can't go over, that's totally fine. The aim is for you to go horizontal like this, sort of something. If you can, all you can do is this. That's totally okay. And I highly recommend going in both directions just for symmetry, both for just your body development and just your proprioceptive understanding. Now the stance would be switched. This will be your right leg. This will be your left leg. This is your left arm. This is your right arm. You're here, you're pushing with your right leg, then your left leg, and you're going to push over just like that. And if that's all you can do, that's totally fine. The goal in the end is to try to get yourself inverted. I don't recommend necessarily doing it driving your head into the ground, but if you need sort of like a way to convince your feet or your hips to go over your head, this could work. But again, if you put your head on the ground, you need to make sure that your neck and that whole structure is strong enough to handle the brief moment of this. Right? So when you kick your left leg up, the left leg touches the ground first. And you kick your right leg up, your right leg touches the ground first. And that's just a drill to sort of get you comfortable being inverted, similar to that forward roll that we did for people that aren't comfortable at all going upside down. The goal is to do it without your head touching the ground, and basically what you want is to be able to get off of your knees, and then once you're there, then you can kick over sort of something like this. You can start out with your knees bent. I think that's totally fine just for the sake of getting you moving and getting you feeling like you're progressing. So the other direction is the same thing. Foot, hand. This is my right foot. Kick it over. And eventually, you're going to be able to go maybe from a squat position. And then maybe you can go from a crouched or like a bent over position. Ideally, you want your hands relatively in line. Like gymnastically, you want your hands in line with your feet. For the sake of this drill, I think it's okay to put your hands behind your feet. When I say behind, I mean if you're facing me, if I'm facing me, I'm going to put them behind my feet towards my sort of heel or towards my backside. So from a squatted or sort of a leaned over position, step, step over. And then the key thing here too, the harder you kick your heel up into the sky, the longer your body is going to go. So you want to kick your heel really hard and you want to push through the shoulders. And you want to basically hit a straight body if you can. It's going to be a little different when you add the lightsaber in. Your body weight is going to be different, your distribution is going to be different. But one more time, pushing all the way through. And then finally, we add the lightsaber. So to add this lightsaber in, again, I usually recommend if you're trying a movement, for the most part, when it comes to flips and acrobatics, I recommend that you start with the backhand, just because it's easier to manage, less blade in the way, less blade likely to hit your face, head, things like that. So that's just my recommendation. A billion other ways to do it, I'm sure. But yeah, so we're gonna go back to, I would recommend you go back to the basics from where you feel most comfortable. And you can decide if this is going to be in my left hand in this direction, then I want it backhand. If it's going to be on the other side, I'll show you, I'll switch it to the other one. So I'm going to go hand, so foot, it's going to push, foot's going to push, hand, and this time it's going to be a fist. If you don't care about your lightsaber, which I recommend doing it with a lightsaber, you're okay with breaking, or even one that doesn't work. You can try doing the whole putting your hand flat down over the saber and picking it up as you go. You can just play with that, putting your weight on it, picking it up, putting your weight on it, picking it up. It could roll under your weight, so that's something to be aware of too. Make sure your wrist is strong if you're going to try that. In the case of, oh, there it goes. Oh, well. In the case of doing this, I recommend doing it with a fist. So you're here, here, here. If you can do it with a fist, great. If you want, so if I go back, I'm going to do a backhand on the other side. You're going to reach over. You can try it with the hand open. Let me try it right now. Hand open. It works, but you're more likely to let go of the saber on your way back up, especially if you want to come into a flurry after that. And you go again. And then another thing you can do as well, if I want to keep it in the same hand, you could do it again with the backhand facing this direction. Yeah, you totally could do it. It doesn't lend itself as well to a flow. You could do a backhanded flow thing across. But another thing you can do once you're feeling more comfortable, you can begin to have it. I would not do my lightsaber like this, straight across. I would do a slight bend, or slight bend, whatever works for you, so that the blade is not touching the hand if you're not going backhand. But you can do like a forehand thing when you go in this direction. You can do it to the other side as well. Fist or open-handed. Those are all some things to work on. The saber is actually pretty minimal in this. Really the only thing is that you got to figure out is how to handle how it interacts with the ground in your hand. Hand, saber, ground, how that feels. If that's all you can do, that's totally fine. Start with that, build confidence, do lots of reps of it, and in no time, you will have your lightsaber cartwheel. So that's about all I have for you today. So that's basically a lightsaber cartwheel with a lightsaber. I'll do a couple more for you, and then we'll call it. I'm gonna mess around here with the hands, playing with the different levels there. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Appreciate your viewership. If you're on YouTube, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe. If you're on Instagram, would appreciate the follow. If not, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you next time.